there's a lot of goals that I am hoping to accomplish in the new year, but one big one is that I want to diversify my reading as much as possible. BIPOC authors in general do not get enough airtime on BookTube, Bookstagram, Book Talk, and I just think that we need to make space for them. There are so many good books out there that we aren't seeing on BookTube. And something that has bothered me is that a lot of times I have to go to someone else who is BIPOC to get my BIPOC book recommendations. Basically, what it all comes down to is that more white people should be lifting up BIPOC authors on this platform. So today, I am going to talk about all of the books on my physical TBR and all the books in my Amazon wishlist, which is where I keep track of all the books I want to read that are by BIPOC authors. I have a lot of books, and I already know that this video is not going to cover all of the books that I have seen around, that I've heard about. So I'm sure that in the future, I will be able to do another one of these videos because I just know that I'm going to miss something. So first, I'm going to start out with the books that I already have on my physical TBR, and then I'll move on to books that I have on my list to pick up. First up, I have The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This is about a boy who travels from his homeland in Spain to the Egyptian desert in search of a treasure buried near the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a bunch of unlikely characters, but what starts out as a journey to find worldly goods turns into a discovery of the treasure found within. This sounds right up my alley. And we have A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. I've heard that this is devastating. The internet says this is about an illegitimate teenager from Herat that is forced to marry a shoemaker from Kubal after a family tragedy. Then in the same breath, we have The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. This is the story of a privileged young narrator who comes of age during the last peaceful days of the monarchy, just before his country's revolution and its invasion by Russian forces. Then we have The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. This is about a man who owns a bookshop and his prized possession of Poe poems gets stolen. But when a mysterious package appears at the bookstore, its unexpected arrival gives Fikry the chance to make his life over and see everything anew. Then we have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I believe this is set in like a dystopian world. Two men are going to die in less than 24 hours, but for different reasons, and they're both looking to make a new friend on their end day. Then we have Dragon Fruit by Makia Lucier. This is a fantasy about a princess who is sent into exile, where she learns everything that she possibly can about dragons. When she finally returns home, she finds that her childhood best friend's mother is ailing, and her best friend need to go on an adventure to find the rare dragon fruit, which is the only cure for his mother's sickness. Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I believe this has Hunger Games energy. Yes, the palace hosts a set of games, and our main character plans to enter the game to bring down the monarchy. And then we have our MMC, whose childhood love has lain in a coma since they were both ousted from the palace, and he needs the money from the games to save her. And the two of them find an unexpected alliance with August, which is the king's adopted son, but the three of them have very different goals. And before the end of the game, our FMC must decide what she's playing for, her lover or her kingdom. Every single time that I film, I have technical difficulties, and I don't know if it's just because I am not a tech person or what, but sorry, let's get back into it. So I was going to talk about Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. This is the first in a series. Our main character grows up on the moon and is accustomed to solitude, unaware that she is being hidden from the feared celestial emperor who exiled her mother for stealing his elixir of immortality. Her magic flares and her existence is discovered, and she is forced to flee her home, leaving her mother behind. Alone, powerless, and afraid, she makes her way to the celestial kingdom, a land
of wonder and secrets. Disguising her identity, she seizes an opportunity to learn alongside the Emperor's son, mastering archery and magic, even as passion flames between her and the prince. To save her mother, she embarks on a perilous quest, confronting legendary creatures and vicious enemies across the Earth's skies. Next up is Iron Widow by Shiron J. Zhao, I believe that's how you say it. This one I remember because I made a TikTok about BIPOC authors also. I remember this one had like kind of a complex and very interesting synopsis. The boys of Huaxia dream of pairing up with girls to pilot chrysalises, giant transforming robots that can battle the mecha aliens that lurk behind the Great Wall. It doesn't matter that the girls often die from the mental strain. When our main character offers herself up as a concubine pilot, it's to assassinate the ace male pilot responsible for her sister's death, but she gets her vengeance in a way nobody expected. She kills him through the psychic link between pilots and emerges from the cockpit unscathed. She is labeled an Iron Widow, a much feared and much silenced kind of female pilot who can sacrifice boys to power up the robots instead. To tame her unnerving yet invaluable mental strength, she is paired up with Li Shimin, the strongest and most controversial male pilot in Huaxia. But now that she has a taste of her power, she will not cower so easily. She will miss no opportunity to leverage their combined might and infamy to survive attempt after attempt on her life until she can figure out exactly why the pilot system works in its misogynistic way and stop more girls from being sacrificed. I love the sound of that. And this is also the first in a series. Then we have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is also one that is gaining a lot of popularity, which I'm glad to see. An epic historical military fantasy inspired by the bloody history of China's 20th century and filled with treachery and magic. When Rin aced the Keiju, the emperor-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, it was a shock to everyone. To the test officials who couldn't believe a war orphan from Rooster Province could pass without cheating, to Rin's guardians who believed they'd finally be able to marry her off and further their criminal enterprise, and to Rin herself who realized she was finally free of the servitude and despair that had made up her daily existence. Being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not an easy thing at this academy, and she's targeted from the outset by rival classmates of her color, poverty, and gender. Rin discovers she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism. Oh, this sounds really interesting. Exploring the depths of her gift with the help of a seemingly insane teacher and psychoactive substances, Rin learns that gods long thought dead are much alive, and that mastering control over those powers can mean more than just surviving school. Next is The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. This is also one that I talked about in my TikTok. I believe it is about two warriors who take an ancient god across their lands, and it's in order to defeat this tyrannical monarchy that's happening in the world. Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. I don't know if the lighting looks as bad as it does on the viewfinder, but if it does, I'm really sorry. Anyway, I believe this is a middle grade book, and I'm not one to pick up a middle grade book that I don't already know about or that I haven't already read when I was a kid, but this just sounds good. A boy goes missing and his little sister, who's 13-year-old Amari Peters, can't understand why it's not a bigger deal. Why isn't his story all over the news? And why do the police automatically assume he was into something illegal? Amari discovers a ticking briefcase in her brother's old closet, a briefcase meant for her eyes only. There was far more to Quentin, her brother, it seems, than she even knew. He's left her a nomination for a summer tryout at the secretive Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. Amari is certain the answer to finding out what happened to him lies somewhere inside, if only she can get her head around the idea of mermaids, dwarves, yetis, and magicians all being real things, something she has to instantly confront when she is given a were-dragon as a roommate. She must compete against some of the nation's wealthiest kids who've known about the supernatural world their whole lives and are able to easily answer questions like, which two great beasts reside in the Atlantic Ocean and how old is Merlin? With an evil magician threatening the whole supernatural world and her own classmates thinking she is an enemy, Amari has never felt more alone, but if she doesn't pass the 3 tryouts, she may never find out what happened to Quentin. That's giving Harry Potter vibes, and it sounds so good. Okay, and the last group of books that I'm going to talk about is the Brown Sister series, which is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I don't know exactly what these books are about, but they are contemporary romances, and I find that a lot of the time contemporary romance romances have very similar plot lines. They're more character driven, so I won't go into detail about all of those, but I've heard amazing things about these. Everyone that has read them that I have listened to says they are amazing. So I'm very excited for that. Like I said before, you guys, this is not my entire list because I guarantee I have heard of other books out there that I just forgot to put on my list, and I'm sure that I will hear about more that I haven't heard of before that will get added to my list. So again, I will probably do another one of these videos next year at some point. But for now, those are the ones that are on the top of my mind to pick up in 2025. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Have you guys ever read any of these, or are they on your TBR? Let me know what you guys think. If this is your first time seeing me, I would love for you to subscribe and go watch more of my videos to help me reach my goal of making YouTube my full-time job. That's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed, please like and comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!